Imagine for a second if everything was running on autopilot. Anybody can start a habit, right? But what is important is sticking with it. The important part is picking up a habit. You've given a word to your friend and you want to stick to it. Know the benefit of picking up a habit. Excuse will always be there. For every problem, there is a solution. Better figure it out. If somebody is watching you, there are higher chances that you'll actually do something. Things cannot disappear overnight. All the works you need to do cannot disappear overnight. So here are some basic tips which I want to talk about today to build a new habit. Again, as usual, this is nothing like too fancy or anything. These are some basic things which anybody and everybody can 100% follow. That's the whole idea of why we're doing these videos, to make sure there's enough awareness that productivity need not be just for the elite few. It can be for everyone. And that's what we are striving to do. So without any further ado, let's get into the topic. Hello everyone, this is Kapil Reddy, founder and CEO of Zooperly. As I mentioned, today we're going to talk about this topic, how to build a new habit. With a small amount of discipline, you can tune your mind in such a way that once you get used to it, it'll just run on autopilot, ideally the dream world. But initially you require some discipline for it, but once you get used to it, it just becomes a routine. And that's what we're going to talk about. Like, here are some few tips which can 100% help you to form a new habit and stick with it. That's the most important. Like anybody can start a habit, right? But what is important is sticking with it. The first step we can go ahead with is do something for 30 days. Just say, let's say for example, maybe first note down 5 or 6 habits. Out of 5 or 6 habits, pick that one habit which you 100% want to get into, but you've not been doing it. For example, something as simple as doing exercise or a physical activity in the morning, or picking up a book, or finishing up a book in a month, whatever it can be. Irrespective of what habit you're picking, the important part is picking up a habit and try doing it consistently for 30 days. So usually research proves that 21 days is probably the norm, or let's say for 30 days, why don't you try it? Once you get used to it, it just becomes a routine. And your brain is tuned in such a way that at that particular time, you just want to do that particular job. That's usually the norm. So try doing it for 30 days and see the results for yourself. Second tip is, as always, consistency. So no matter what habit you pick, let's say for example, at 8 in the evening, you want to read a book for 1 hour. Make sure you consistently do it on a daily basis. Only if you stick, that's when I think habits will form. And as well, your brain will be on autopilot once you do it consistently over a period of time. As well, in our case, why don't you try doing it for 30 days and see the difference just for yourself. Third important thing is find a buddy. We all love to have accountability. So once you have some sort of accountability, especially from an external source, that will be a super good motivator. You've told to your friend publicly that for 1 month, I'm going to read this book at 8 o'clock for 1 hour every day. That's when I think you'll be more accountable, so that you have this friend who you can look up to. Whenever you're probably breaking the habit, usually things work in that you just subconsciously think that you've given a word to your friend and you want to stick to it. So in that way, find a buddy who can be held accountable for your own habit. That's very crucial. Fourth tip is know the benefits. It's simple logic, right? Like if you have the purpose for something, obviously you're a lot more motivated. Let's pick up the habit of reading a book daily. We all know that books are a bundle of knowledge. We know the immense benefits we can get out of it. Let's say, for example, you are getting into product management. Why don't you pick some book on product management and you have a clear goal that once I read this book, I'll probably expand my knowledge on product management. That's exactly what you got to understand. Know the benefit of picking up a habit. And once you're clear about this is the benefit I'm going to get, there are higher chances that you'll stick with this habit for a longer time. So fifth tip, rather than tip, I think this is kind of like something we need to take care of. You will have a lot of challenges and obstacles on your way. Whenever you're picking up a habit, because see, we're all in this information overload era, which I keep repeating, we're all in this world where we're constantly distracted. In order to break from the distraction, we need to stick to our habits. At the same time, it's not as easy as I told you. You always have some sort of obstacles, and there are some excuses which we give to ourselves just to break the habit. For example, as simple as like, I don't have time, or I'm just too busy with work, or I have other priorities. Excuses will always be there. It's up to you how you want to overcome those excuses and make sure you stick to the habit. See, that's where commitment comes in place. Once you're committed to do this habit, you will 100% do it. So do not give those excuses or do not set those obstacles just for yourself. For every problem, there is a solution. Better figure it out. The whole idea of this habit formation is so that your brain is tuned in such a way that you don't have to put that effort again and again. And that's exactly why we are stressing on it. Like, these are some basic tips which you can follow to make sure you get on that autopilot mode. Final tip is always track your habit. There are innumerous apps where you can have your habits tracked. Of course, even in Zoopally, we have a habit tracker, but more on that later. Don't worry about which tool to pick or which app to pick. That's irrelevant. Your first goal or your first priority here is to stick to a habit. So make sure you're making that happen. So for that reason, just try and track your habit on a daily basis. As per some scientific principles, if somebody is watching you, there are higher chances that you'll actually do something. For that reason, try tracking a habit and maybe show some accountability. For example, as simple as share your journey, like your 30-day habit forming journey on your social media, so that you're held more accountable and it'll automatically push you to actually do this. That's one thing I think 100% you got to do. So in this way, just try and follow these basic tips. The more you start practicing it, eventually you'll 100% achieve whatever you set out to. For example, one simple example I'll give you from my own experience. For example, every Thursday we put out a video, right? There are so many things which I have to take care. Yet, this is one habit I wanted to stick for, because I know I have a strong purpose behind it, right? As I told, I keep telling that we wanted to create more awareness around productivity. We want people to get back their time. We want them to use their time in the most efficient way possible. All this can be possible if, let's say, I put out that effort and create this video, so that even if a section of people are benefited, I think that's a big win for us. That's exactly how we see it. Because of that strong motivation, I automatically tune my mind that I have to record a video and post it on Thursday. And that's how you're able to see me. You can see in your own life number of examples on how people form habits, and most importantly, as I told, starting a habit itself is a big win, but the biggest win is sticking to it for a longer time. That's what you got to do. So finally, to conclude, what you could do is just, why don't you pick one habit and try doing it for 30 days and do it consistently by following these basic tips and see the difference for yourself. Please do let us know in comments on what habit you're picking up. And yeah, of course, we'll try and help in whichever way we can. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment on this. And of course, share it in your network. You know why we are doing this? It's to create awareness around productivity. And as usual, do let us know if there is anything else we can record. We are more than happy to do it in and around productivity and learning. That's it for this week. Until next time, see you all. Have a great week. Bye-bye.